Hello, everyone. Ah, it is a glorious Monday evening or night, depending on where you are. And I hope that hope my recorder playing didn't disturb any pets or animals or anything through your microphones. I just couldn't resist. It's just I put a new graphic on at the beginning, and I thought, let's try some music in this. So we gave it a shot. So if I woke you up, too late. But I hope that all of you were around for last week's show, which was a lot of fun because it was a mashup. We really didn't get to, we did something a little different. The last show was Lady Prudence and the Rambling Sailors. Now, the Rambling Sailors, they were on our show way back in early April, soon after we started doing it. And Lady Prudence, I believe late May, around there. But we thought they really complemented each other well with music, so wouldn't it be great to put them together? And when we talked about that, we said, why don't we do that? So we talked to them, and the Rambling Sailors were remote in two different locations. So we remastered both of their shows that they were already on for us, and it was a lot of fun because I am a lot better at color correction now. So I don't know if you noticed, but the audio and the video was much better. So that was really nice, and that's good for them because they were great shows, and they deserve to have that little extra bonus. So yeah, so hello everyone, Janine, Jeremy, Brad, Katsurita, Jan. Ah, really? And that's why you wear headphones, Lee. That's interesting because you'd think headphones would actually make the sound a lot louder, a lot more piercing, but hey, that's fine. Do what you got to do. Oh, you wear headphones so it doesn't disturb your dog. Oh, I get it now. Okay, that makes more sense. That makes more sense. Because yeah, her dog does have anxiety out though. Yeah, it is a thing. So probably a good idea. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the last show. It was, like I said, it was a ton of fun, great performances, and I think for those that I was worried that a lot of people just had missed, especially the Rambling Sailors, had missed their show because it was so early in our history that they may not have ever seen it, and definitely worth seeing because it was a really good show, a lot of fun. And yes, hello Connor and Elizabeth on YouTube. Should say that too. And Julie, good evening. Yes, Lee's dog is a diva. It is very, very true. But, well, what can you do? What can you do indeed? So, yeah, the last show, great. Now, I don't know if you've noticed, maybe you, well, maybe you really haven't, but there are a lot of new events up now, a ton. Uh, we're really starting to get ahead of everything in our shows and really planning ahead, which is nice. It's been it's been a process. So yeah. Well, as an example, here I'll show you the events list. I mean, this is kind of what we have right now. Really, really, Jeremy, pet shots, really. Oh my gosh. Okay, well, if you want, that's up to you. And Kristen, yeah, Monday is really it came so quick, didn't it? The weekend just flew by. I was expecting to get a lot done and I did get a bit, but it just flew by. But anyway, yeah, you can see the events here. I mean, wow, you get the whole I mean, you get today's Fair Life and then you get gatherings coming up and a lot of really cool stuff. So, something to something to check out. So if you haven't looked at the events, go check them out on the Life's Affair Facebook page, and yeah, go ahead and go in and make sure you want to go and say that you're going. And with that, you'll get a reminder in Facebooks for when they come up, and so it's a good thing. So definitely check that out. We do have the new show coming up, and that is going to be interesting because they are people who have been on the show before. But yeah, I mean, you get Pride of Ireland and Langer's Ball, and what a great combination, right? We're trying a few mashups here, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun because I think their music, oh, it's just going to be a great, uh, fun music night, and I love those. So I just got word that Langer's Ball have finished editing their video, or in the process of finishing editing, so I should get that here momentarily for the night, so that will be great. Oh yeah, right now it looks. Kristen's asking if it's a new show. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I haven't seen the videos yet, but it looks like it. So it should be a lot of fun. Should be a ton of fun. Yeah, Langer's Ball, they have updated their whole setup, and Pride of Ireland has updated his setup, so it should be it should be a lot. It should be interesting compared to the last time they were on the show. Yes, and Alicia's talking about weekend meetings. We did. Had a lot of meetings over the weekend, actually. I had several, not just not just with Alicia, but others. It was a long weekend. Oh, and I recorded the podcast for the Rambling Sailors because although they were on our show back in early April, they missed the podcast, being on the podcast. It just didn't, the timing just didn't work out, so I never got them on. And that was such an oversight because great people of Rambling Sailors. So yeah, got them on the podcast, great. And that is up currently on our Patreon page. So if you are on our Patreon, you can go listen to that podcast and hear a little bit about them. And it's a lot of fun. And the general podcast will be up tomorrow, and that will be cool. And then hopefully get the video up on Wednesday. So yeah, excellent stuff. I'm looking forward to Thursday's show, and it's really crazy getting this far ahead of things because we're getting about a month ahead now, and I'm trying to get. I was going to try to do it over the weekend, but some other things came up. But during this week, I'm going to try to get as much as 3 months ahead on schedule, at least with the gathering shows and everything, and a bit with Faire Life. So that is going to be an interesting thing. Yeah, that is going to be crazy. If I can manage that, that would be nice. So yeah, I think that'll be good. And Elizabeth is saying Pride of Ireland has been pretty busy. That she follows him on Patreon. On That's a comment from YouTube. And yes, I do. He has been very busy. He said he was doing a lot recently, and so hopefully I'll get that video from him tonight as well, and get it all ready for our Thursday show. Always fun and interesting. Always fun and interesting. Now, I don't know if. Yeah, Lee is very excited about this. I should. She just made a comment about it, that she was so excited about being able to book this far out. For her, this has been a huge struggle for her. It has been tough for me getting all the videos and everything together, and the audio, and making it all work, and getting it ready for the show, getting the graphics together. But for her, it's all about marketing and publicity, and I mean other things too. But trying to, I mean, it's so much easier when you can do that months in advance and really get that ball rolling. So she has been working on that with many limbs tied behind her back. So yeah, this is going to be great. It's going to be a lot better from now on. So yeah, and she's right. For the next month, we really concentrated on mashups. We were trying to think, who could we pair together that would just be cool. I mean, now that we've done this for 5 months, God help us, 5 months. Yeah, wow. Now that we've done it for 5 months, we've learned a lot since then, since we started. I mean, about the bands, about what works, what doesn't work as well, some interesting things. So yeah, I think this is going to be a lot of fun. So yeah, something to check out. Go check it out on our events page, and it should be awesome. Yeah. Wow. That's just wrong. That is wrong. very wrong. I think it was exactly 5 months or so, isn't it? I think so. Is that right, Lee? Is it 5 months? I think it's that exactly. I'm just gonna take a quick look. Um, oh yeah, yeah, that was it. 5 months. Um, yeah, it was 5 months ago today. Exactly. Hey, nice. Because yeah, if I'm looking at this right, Sherwood closed on. They got the word on the Monday after the weekend, March 16th, and we discussed all of this and got it all figured out on the 17th, saying, "Let's do this." And then we got the pub scene up um, on that Saturday, so on the 21st. So yeah, that's about exactly. Yeah. Wow, our birthday is March 17th. How Irish of us. How very, very Irish of us. So yeah, that is really interesting. Uh, very cool. Very cool. Now, admittedly, Gathering isn't that old, and some of the other stuff not as well. But Life's Affair, I mean, technically the idea is older, but when we officially said we're doing this, that's the day. That is the day when we decided. So yeah. Hmm. So cool. Always fun. Now, so check out our next show. It should be a lot of fun, I think, and I'm definitely looking forward to that mashup, and there'll be lots more, definitely lots more cool ones. Now, we do have some events coming up, and I should talk about that too. If you noticed on the schedule that I popped up earlier, the that wonderful little event schedule, you'll notice about halfway down, you'll see if you can read that small on some devices. Well, here, I'll tell you what. I'll blow it up because I'm that guy. I'll be cool about this. Let's see. Yeah, let's. I'll blow up that graphic for you. Here you go. So yeah, red carpet premiere Shakespeare reviews. Now I've talked to you about Shakespeare reviews, and we're going to be reviewing movies and doing all of that. That's going to be coming up really soon. But we're doing a red carpet premiere. That's going to be on the 28th, Friday the 28th of this month. And it's going to be some, let's see, how much can I say about this, Lee? It's going to be some cool stuff. Uh, some really, some, it's going to be essentially like a red carpet. People walking in and saying, yeah, here for the premiere and all that kind of stuff. It's going to be pretty cool. A lot of cool people are going to participate in this, and it should be a fun party. So definitely something to check out. Looking forward to that a lot. And uh, wow, everybody's smashing pumpkins, huh? Hmm, that is okay. That was never really my soundtrack. I mean, I appreciated the band and liked the music, but it was, yeah, that's never really my thing. Huh. But yeah, I am really excited about Shakespeare reviews too, Lee. It is going to be really cool. Um, yeah, yeah. I think, I think this is going to be truly epic. And yeah, Lee's right. We're gonna have some really cool people walking our red carpet. I can't really now talk about. Wait a minute, Alicia's judging me now. Oh, because I like Smashing Pumpkins. They just weren't my anthem. I mean, I'm a little older than you too, so you got to keep that in mind. That's, I think it's generational. I'm totally Gen X. Sorry. Yeah, definitely shenanigans are guaranteed. So yeah, should be fun. Should be a lot of fun. Oh yeah, and Elizabeth on YouTube is asking if Shakespeare Reviews is going to be on this YouTube channel too. And uh, yeah, yeah, you'll be at work that day, but yeah, it will be on YouTube. It'll be on Facebook. We'll be streaming it to both platforms. Do not worry. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Smashing Pumpkins. That was. I don't know. I mean, actually, I wasn't really a teen when Smashing Pumpkins was popular. Um, that was like after college for me. Well, maybe beginning, end of college. So yeah, uh, Didn't really have the same effect. But I had weird music. I mean, let's be honest. I had weird music taste. Very weird music taste. Um, I was I was listening to a lot of strange stuff. Everything from, oh gosh, uh, the thing was music. I didn't really like heavy metal or anything, but almost everything else was interesting to me. Um, that was I just loved music as a kid. Anything musical was interesting. I definitely was the MTV generation, and I watched a lot of MTV. I'm sure none of you are really surprised after seeing the Thursday gathering videos with the little MTV um, MTV cards that I put in the overlays with the song and the band and all that kind of thing, because I have to kind of I love that. Oh, Jolly Rogers for her. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Alicia's saying that Jolly Rogers were her band. And for me, I didn't start doing fairs till I was about 16, 17. So before that, it was more Mussorgsky and um, composers like that. Some classical groups and yeah, maybe some other. I don't know. I mean, generally, a lot of MTV. I watched way too much of that. It was nuts. Yeah, I'm really not that old. You see, I was born in very not that long ago. I'm really young. So anyway, moving on. Red carpet should be awesome. Look for that. Yeah, I'm probably not older than you, Krista. I don't know. Anyway, moving on to something else before Lee starts getting creative. Uh, so yeah, um, look for the gatherings that are coming up and definitely join in and jump on that. Make sure you respond so it will be you'll get the reminders of that. But it's a lot of fun shows coming up. Check the events page because it's just interesting to see who's coming up. There's some good mashups, I think. Uh, Also, I actually really need to apologize a little bit to all of you because I've been a little aloof the last few weeks uh, online and Fair Life. I've been a bit of a zombie the last few weeks too on Fair Life here, so I'm sorry about that. Um, yeah, yeah. I'm really sorry because that was that was I've been working on a project for a while now, and it's really started to come to fruition the last few weeks. Um, the project is real time music, live music between performers remotely. So uh, I've been testing it out with Mark Gunn. He's in Atlanta right now, and it is I'm here, and we've been playing music together, real time, and it's really cool. I doing the low latency audio, trying to set it up. I mean, it takes a lot of cool, a lot of things you got to do with the software, with the hardware to make it all work. You're pretty much the real hindrance you have is the speed of light because it's all fiber optics now. So as long as light's fast, which it is, it's not that bad. You can do it. You just have to shave away those extra milliseconds anywhere you can, and it adds up. And that's people look for that one button solution. Doesn't exist. You can't do it. You have to go in and configure everything and optimize it. And when you do that, it just works. It's close, but you can make it work. So yeah, not getting too technical about it, but um, it is pretty cool. It is just very cool. You do need some decent audio hardware to make it work, But if you have that, you can if you have that, you can do it. So I'm looking at in the future getting some bands on Life's Affair that are remote and getting them all together and doing some live recordings, making that work for them. I mean, even if it's just recordings I rebroadcast later, but they can play and do some real time music. It's going to be cool. And of course, down the road, the dream is celebrating our anniversary the right way and doing a pub scene with everybody live, recreating that pub scene we did back 5 months ago. Pretty sweet, right? So that's the goal, and I've been working hard on it the last couple of weeks, uh, and I've pretty much got it. It's there's for the use I was going to use it for. There's a couple of audio routing things I'm still trying to optimize, but for regular use, it works. So you're going to see a lot of that really soon. It should be fun. It should be a lot of fun. And yeah, yeah. Andrew Benson on YouTube is asking about latency, and I mean, it's latency is of course an issue because he's asking if it's saying it's not an issue. It is an issue, but get you can get rid of most of it because, like I said, most of it's fiber optic cable. It's all light. 186,000 miles per hour. It's pretty quick. Um, so yeah, the trick is optimizing. Okay, I'll just tell you real quick. I know most of you don't care about this, but Andrew asked. So the trick is really tweaking the network card, tweaking the windows, tweaking your audio setup, and on both ends, and using software that's designed for it. That's it. That's the gist. But you have to know each of those steps well and figure out how to do it. Uh, so yeah, yeah, it is pretty cool. So yeah, I think, and honestly, nobody else is doing it. Nobody else has figured it out. I mean, there are people that have tried and have set up doing a little bit like that, but I don't think they've optimized it like I have. It's going to be, it's going to be a feature that we can do with anything. I mean, I could set up a group video meeting and have the audio all be real time for everyone. That kind of thing. Uh, so yeah, and it's just what's one of those things. I mean, if you're gonna do a project, and try to work and improve stuff for your online world, why do an easy one? Why do something basic like, ooh, look at my little new graphic? I mean, come on, seriously. I mean, do something grow a pair. I mean, do something right. Do a big do a big event. I mean, do something seriously that nobody else has been able to do. Climb that mountain. I mean, if I wasn't that type of guy, I'd be working for another Ren Fair. So yeah, yeah, Life's a Fair. We try to push the envelope, but we do it without uh, without going too far, and that's the thing. It's oh hey Joey, yay, yeah, yeah. Uh, I've got I've got a lot of extra. Actually, I've got other tech things in the work too. Um, yeah, I'm setting up my own Dropbox uh, on my server, so it it'll be easier to get videos from people and do that, and we can share documents and everything a lot easier for our meetings. And some of the people in the digital team that have started joining us on that, they'll have access to some of that and can share documents and collaborate. And some of the productions we'll collaborate with that too. So that's the goal there. I think it'll be a lot of fun, and it'll be a lot of other cool stuff. Uh, yeah, yeah, yeah. A lot of cool projects. I always do some of that on the side, but I wanted to apologize because I have been so aloof the last couple of weeks because it has been a lot of work. I mean, I've been staying up late hours trying to make some of this go. So, um, but yeah, Lee is right. We do try to keep our broadcast standards really high. I mean, And it surprises me some of the streams people are doing online where what they're willing to accept. I mean, the bar is set so low, but I just don't want to go with what the basic stuff is with a basic webcam and do that. I mean, when somebody sends me a video, I work on it. I work on the audio. I work on the video. I tweak the heck out of it, and and the more I've learned the whole time, so I'm so much better at it than I was 5 months ago. Oh my gosh! I mean, you edit videos week after week, you get better, especially if you research it as you go. And that's the important thing to remember about all of this. As crazy and as messed up as this time is in history and in our lives, it is, how often have you had a chance to have time to work on things and learn new things? I mean, it is such a rarity at this point in our lives. I mean, when you're kids, you have time. You can spend the weekend playing or learning or doing whatever. But then when you're an adult, you don't get that anymore. It's gone. And now, I mean, unless you have kids and all that, then it's a different problem. But if you don't have all that, you get some time to actually work on some things. Uh, but yeah, it is a great opportunity to learn some new things. And for some of the musicians, I definitely recommend trying to work on that. Work on learning how to edit video, uh, how to color correct, how to do some basic editing in audio. Be a at least a capable sound engineer where you know the basics and you can make your sound decent. That's really important. Definitely, definitely important. So yeah, something to think about. Definitely something to talk about. Now there is, um, I don't know if you have been following our our YouTube page, our Facebook page with some of the posts that have gone up. But there was a really good question that came up this past week that I thought was really good. Um, I think the question was, let me see if I can remember this correctly. If money was no object, what fair item would you purchase for yourself? So, yeah. Now, of course, I think the most common answer that people were saying on that was boots. And it totally made sense because boots, I mean, they're a very expensive fair item to get custom made leather boots that work for you. And yeah, it's a big investment. It can be tough to go that route. But yeah, if money was no object, oh yeah, that's a good choice. Um, Definitely some interesting ideas. I don't know if y'all have. Oh, Jeremy's saying a pub. I like that. Personal valet for Drew. I agree with that. As a musician, one thing I would love is roadies. I always used to say that, if there's one thing that inspired me to work harder and be successful is the dream of being able to have roadies to carry all that stuff from show to show. Oh my God. But I like personal valet. That's interesting. That is interesting. Mm. Yeah, custom boots. And considering I just purchased some boots and picked them up 2 weeks before the pandemic thing started and everything was closed, picked them up at Sherwood. Yeah, not the best time to invest in fair boots, but hey, you try. Uh, so yeah, definitely something I've already put money into. And yeah, uh, Andrew's backing me up on YouTube saying that custom made boots are worth every penny and so comfortable. And you're right, they are. If you go to fairs a lot, if you go once a year, 1 or 2 weekends, maybe a year, and that's it, I don't know. I don't know if it's worth it unless you just have the money to burn. If money's no object, sure. But if you do go a lot of weekends to fair, oh my gosh, yes. Uh, yeah. Hmm. Yeah, yeah. Um, and some people, and Kristen mentioned her own fair, and that was a comment uh, people have said. Um, and yeah, I mean that is interesting. I mean, you don't really do fair for very long without having that discussion with your friends about, if I won the lottery, this is what I this is the fair I would build. I mean, I assume everybody's had that conversation. I know I have many times with different fair performers and friends, and over the years, more times than I can count. Just this is my idea of the perfect Ren fair, and uh, yeah, I've had some detailed conversations and strategies about this is how I would build a Ren fair. Which I guess, considering we did Life's a Fair online, I guess it's not surprising, really, when I think about it. Ah, and Andrew on YouTube saying best purchases he's made were his boots and his waterproof cloak. Waterproof cloak, good investment, very good investment, very much so. So yeah, yeah. Oh man. And Janine's saying she's got a friend trying to sell property in Utah. Uh, oh well, but no water rights to irrigate, and that's always the problem. Location is so key because how do you do that? I mean, first of all, you need all of the uh, you need water, and you need electricity, and you need all of those things that keep it. You need everything for like a small town, essentially. I mean, you can live on the land, but it it gets a little rough. So you need to have an infrastructure in there, but you also want it to be picturesque. You want it to be beautiful so that people will look at the area and say, this is just a beautiful location. Um, the location is like a major cast character. I mean, it's important. Having those, mountains in the background, or beautiful trees in a forest all around you, or, uh, or a lake off to the side that you're um, either going around or going to the side of, or, I mean, all these uh, different things I've seen. Yeah, she has totally been trying to steal my cloak. That cloak I got 20 years ago. It is the material feels a bit like blue jeans in black. Um, it's just it's very it breathes so well, but it also is warm. It's just great. I love it. It feels great. Um, it's wonderful. Jeremy, yeah, describing his backyard. That's always good, picturesque. If you've ever seen the movie Excalibur from the '80s, great movie. The director, I'm the guy who listens to directors' commentaries because, well, I'm that guy. So the director was talking about several of the scenes in there and saying, "Oh yeah, that's my backyard." Yeah, I live there in England, and yeah, that's just my backyard there. And I was just, you're kidding me. You're kidding me. Yeah, where they're doing the battle next to next to the river. That's my backyard. Must be nice. Must be nice. I guess that's one of the bad parts about being a city boy like I am. Hmm. Ah, okay. Yeah. Oh, tent zippers replaced. Janine's talking about getting her tent zippers replaced with heavy duty ones. Um, yeah, yeah. That's always, and that's just normal maintenance and upgrades, and that's just you learn. Uh, any Rennie has been through that. They get the basics that they need, and then they gradually upgrade. They get a better tent, more stuff, better way to travel. Um, yeah, really. I would, that's yeah. I mean, that makes a lot of sense to upgrade the zippers, Lee. I think Janine's very smart with that. Makes a lot of sense. Hmm. But yeah, I think that's yeah, yeah. And there's a few different ways to go with cloaks and capes, Jan. She's asking, saying she got from Mystic Capes at Sherwood. That's where they got theirs, and they're great but heavy. And that's the thing. You either go with the winter cloak and the summer cloak, or you go one's for rain more and one's for keeping you warm. And that's a good route to go, I think, in general, because those warm, thick cloaks for the winter they also look good, and I think that makes it worth it. It's the look as much as the function there, and it just looks good. Now, for me, I'm usually carrying so much anyway, and I need to have as much flexibility as I can to move for music. That having a cloak that is um, not too cumbersome, it makes a huge difference. It's not always the warmest cloak. I just bundle up on clothes underneath, so that a lot of layers, so that works. And the cloak definitely just helps. Um, Mainly, it's sort of like a decently warm windbreaker, but it works. I don't think I've ever needed more than that as long as I bundle up underneath. That's sort of the trick, keeping the wind off. Wind is what always gets me at fair. Wind is the evil thing. Hmm. Oh yeah, yeah. And that's the beautiful thing about some of the fairs, the cloaks. Jan's talking about wearing her capes to some of their son's soccer games in the late fall and early spring. And yeah, I mean, there's a lot of good fair clothing and garb that, especially some of the coats uh, and cloaks and everything that work outside of fair well. Um, yeah, that is that is very true. Um, yeah, it's kind of surprising, but it works. And it looks usually pretty cool too when you do, right? Doesn't it, Jan? Doesn't it like, did you got comments, right? I imagine you got comments when you wore them, and they're probably complimentary, I would wager. And Jeremy says his cloak came from an anime con dealer room. That's interesting. But I mean, just because they're at a anime con doesn't mean that that's all they do. Um, and good work is good work. Oh yeah, gnats. It depends. Janine's asking about gnats and they like wind because it keeps them away. Um, I mean, it depends. I mean, down here, not really. Not in the Austin area that I've seen much. Other places, sure. Um, it just depends. I mean, I've been to so many fairs now. Uh, all of them have their own little issues. Whether like there's a couple that had bees pretty strong, and that was always a problem. Um, Mosquitoes sometimes. Uh, you'll get ones that have. Sometimes it's the heat. Sometimes it's the cold. I mean, it's very. Sometimes you get a lot of rain through one fair that just it's that time of year, no matter what. It it, it just varies. Um, all fairs have their own little issues. Yeah, Lee is. Oh, if you have any questions about about tricks like that with uh, for taking care of bugs or plants or anything like that, Lee is your person. She knows her stuff. Ooh, and Katsurita has a really nice wool cloak with silk lining and pockets that she wears regularly in the winter. It's warmer than any coat, I imagine, and it sounds like it's a really nice one. That's interesting. Yeah, and Andrew's talking on YouTube is saying he misses Sherwood in February. Yeah, I'm, you know, you're right. It's not as good for business. Of course, uh, I remember the year after they moved it, and the weather in February was great. So you never know. It was just they were just sick of all the problems, and it's not good for business. I get it. Um, I do get it. I I don't know. I think generally people will go to fair even if it's cold if the fair is set up well for it. That's kind of the gist. Fairs are not always set up well for cold weather, but some are. Some definitely are. There are plenty of places to hang out and where the wind doesn't hit you, where it's you get a few heaters in there and it's very nice. Plenty of shelter from the rain if it happens, um, and you still get to enjoy the shows and have a good time. Why not? it's not a problem. So yeah, I mean, I think some fairs are built well for it, but I also think most are not. Um, and yeah, and you always bring your cloak. You always. I don't care what fair you're going to. I don't care if you're going in July to a fair. You bring your cloak because at the very least it might rain. And I don't know if everybody remembers the uh, Memorial Day weekend snow at Scarborough several years ago. That was crazy. Um, and that's true. I think I love my cloak because it works in heat. It's a little warm, but it's not bad. Um, it's good for cutting the rain, and I wear it for that. It's a good all around cloak, and I haven't seen many good all around cloaks. Yeah, Andrew at on YouTube saying that TRF it's the glass blower. Um, Glass blower is a good location. Always it's always nice when those very hot things at fair like the ovens and all of that they it's actually this is a good thing finally. Oh, and Jeremy says his cloak can double as a picnic blanket. I have totally done that. I have totally done that. Lee will back me up on this. I have totally done that. Um, it is great for sitting down on if you need to. Um, it is great for endearing yourself to the queen by throwing it over a puddle. You get so many options. So many options. Ah, and Drew says he's made himself a capelet. Will never wear a cloak again. Well, for your persona, I think that makes a lot of sense. At least the ones I've seen you do. I think that suits you very well. Uh, for me, I think I've always liked the way I look in a cloak, so I've kind of enjoyed it. I think it's kind of nice. But I think it just depends on what you do and how you dress and your character. I mean, for me, I kind of am my character, so it's just me. But still, yeah, definitely done the pillow. Um, yeah, to dry your hands on. Lee's also saying all the things that she uses it for. Um, Clean up spills, makeshift baby carrier. Okay, I haven't used it as a baby carrier. So glad about that. Um, Tie it to a tree and make yourself a shady spot. I haven't had the courage to do that. I have used it as a blanket many times in the car, after fair, and the actually just in general sometimes. I'll leave the blanket and I'll blanket the cloak in my car a lot of the time, and if it ever gets cold or whatever, I've got a blanket because it works. It's just good, so versatile. And yeah, for Drew, he says a caplet really frees your hands, and for him, he needs that because I've always seen him as a magician. So I'm not sure if he still does that exclusively or not, but yeah, for him that would make a lot of sense. Dragon Matador is what Jerry May says. Nice, nice. Yeah, I'll leave that to you, Jeremy. As a bard, I have a rule about living to tell the song. I think it's very important. I do. Very important indeed. Mm. Ah. Oh man, Dragon Matador. That is messed up. I like it. Oh mercy. That really needs to be a song now. I think it really does. Hmm. Oh yeah, actually, I think Lee has done a makeshift changing room with her cloak too. I mean, that's one thing I've done before. I've when there have been wardrobe malfunctions, I've helped out by using my cloak to cover it up and let the person adjust, even on stage where they can fix it and doing that. So yeah, it is great for that as well. Um, yeah, yeah, very good idea. Hmm. Yeah, cloaks are just awesome. You know, it's been a while. I've been so happy with my cloak. I have not really followed what the great cloak manufacturers are at fair these days. I'm really out of touch. I have no idea. I'm thinking about where do you get the best cloaks now? I'm really not sure. So I have a question for you. Do any of you know uh, what's your opinion on the best place to buy a cloak at Fair? Best cloak manufacturer. Go. What do you got? I'm really curious on this because I really don't know. And honestly, it's getting time for me to buy a new cloak. It's on my list. I need one. I've been carrying that one for a long time, and it is great. I have worked it, and it's it was made so well. But um, yeah, at Anime Cons for Jeremy, and Jan says Mystic, and she said they worked really well. Oh, okay. Your Togs, some good choices. I don't know if anybody on YouTube has any suggestions for cloaks, cloak locations. Okay, Andrew on YouTube says his rainproof is Mystic cloak, expensive but worthy. And then he has one from Zutsu and another from somewhere else that he uses for an additional layers. And that's a good point. You can use different cloaks for different layers. Yeah, Eric's talking about the a wool cloak that his mom made him, and that's always a good thing. Yeah, huh? Hmm. And Drew, yeah, well, Drew is old school. Drew says he's made all of his, and yeah, he's old school Rennie. So yeah, he's got those skills. He's got those mad skills. So I can sew a button, so I'm pretty happy about that. I can do basic fixing with with needle and thread, but that's about as far as it goes for me. So yeah, okay, those are some good suggestions. I might look into that because I will need to I will need to I will need to get a new cloak here at some point. Okay, Mystic Cloaks seem like a good. Yeah, yeah, you can get some canvas drop cloth. I've used that. I go the canvas drop cloth route for signage. I'll go crazy with that, and then I'll make new fair signs. It's great for it. And yeah, definitely do the whole Scotch Guard. I don't know. I've thought I like Scotch Guard, but I've thought about wouldn't it be good to get a cloak that's already waterproof, and I don't have to continually use Scotch Guard. Um, I'm fine having two cloaks. I do fair enough. It makes sense for me to have a cloak that's waterproof and a cloak that's just for warmth. And I think that would be the way to go for me. But yeah, yeah, I think. Oh, and Andrew's saying Zutsu is all right, good for the money, really great for more layers. Okay, okay. I'm gonna have to really, yeah. I hope Lee is writing all this down. She's usually good at all that, so she can write them down and send me the list later. Because I'm really, I'm gonna be looking at all this. Hmm. Yeah, there are plenty of Rennies who can. Lee's right. Plenty of Rennies who can do alterations. So definitely something to check out. Hmm. But yeah, thanks. That's a very helpful. Um, Lee, maybe we should do something like that. Have like a um, recommended merchant list for different clothing items. I mean, I've seen people try to put things like that up, but I've never seen a good one online. At least not that I don't know. It'd be a lot of work, and I don't know if it'd be as helpful right now. It might be. I don't know. But down the road, I've kind of worked on my own lists when I needed them and done the research and asked a lot of people, but uh, it's a lot of work to figure out where to go and what to get. Ouch. Jan is saying that I need a keeper. Well, I can't really argue that. I can't really argue that. Oh, and Andrew on YouTube is saying his wife and sister-in-law both have mystic cloaks too, and they both like them. So that's good. Mm. Yeah, gloves are always tough for me because I have to do fingerless because of the instruments. So I've never really wanted to go the whole, get some nice gloves and just cut the fingers off. So I always do the whole glove liners from army surplus stores, and then I just cut the fingers off, and um, that works fine for me now. I mean, I've been doing that for many years. Just something simple and easy, and they don't look high end. They look very Dickens esque when you cut the fingers off like that. But I always thought that was kind of good because if I'm busking and playing music on a cold day, having really nice looking clothing might not be my best move. Doing the whole penny for a song, sir. Penny for a song might be a good route to go. Oh, and Jan says their problem with Mystic is they don't fit in a suitcase. That's an interesting point if they're that thick. Oh, right. Yeah, they're doing a review show. Yeah, Lee was talking about that. I was thinking more of just a list on the webpage, but yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, that we did talk about that. That's true. Um, that would be pretty cool. And yeah, we did talk about articles. Because yeah, I think a lot of people would be interested. There's so many good merchants out there who craftsmen who just make all of these things, and it's just so good. But clothing, I think for somebody starting out at Fair, clothing is the big first thing when they want to get a costume and an outfit and kind of go that route when they want to garb up. So I think that's a good place to start. Yeah, exactly. And Andrew on YouTube says wool fingerless work pretty well, and that's kind of how I've gone too, doing that nice. Yeah, yeah, fingerless gloves. And it really can't be. It has to be very back for me, where it's not um, it, all the way down past the knuckles, because you can't. Uh, it's on the guitar, and you need your full fingers. Otherwise, it can cause problems. It gets cold for sure, and um, Drew's muff comment about putting hands in that is not bad, but I yeah, I just generally suck it up and accept my fingers are going to get cold, and try to, when I'm not playing, warm them up a little bit. But yeah, generally I'm okay as long as I can keep the wind off of them. That's usually what gets me. Yeah, and I've seen knitted fingerless gloves before, and some of those are pretty cool. Uh, but no, no, I've just gone usually the very basic stuff. Mhm. So yeah. Hmm. Yeah, there's so many interesting options for outfits when you're first starting out at Fair. Huh. I'm starting to brainstorm ideas for things we could do for the beginning Rennie, and things we could do online on pages and stuff. That would be that would be interesting. I'm gonna have to have a meeting with Lee about this. I think there's some interesting possibilities there to kind of help them get started. Definitely. Mm. Hmm. Good stuff. Some good options there for making your own. I like it. Oh, wow. It's almost 8 o'clock. See, that's what happens. I start reading all your comments and uh, asking questions and getting great responses, and then next thing I know, pff, show's over. It's all y'all are just too good at this. You know, that's right. Lee doesn't wear gloves at fair. That's true. I'd forgotten about that. Polar fleece, nice. Janine does the polar fleece route. Yeah, and Andrew on YouTube saying a guide for the novice running. That's kind of what I'm thinking. I think that would be really cool. Just to, yeah, I think that I'm gonna have to work on that. That's gonna have to be another project. Yeah. Well, yeah, I think we're at the hour mark now. So I think we really need to kind of I, I kind of need to uh head off now. So I guess I will I guess I will call it here and I will talk to you later. So I hope you had a good time and thanks for all the info. And I look forward to seeing you on Thursday. So take care. Yo, what's up? Hopefully, y'all had a great time. Should I play some outgoing music? I'll play some outgoing music.